Humans often believe that we're separate from nature and that we're even above nature. But after visiting the sensory oversoul pie museum and spending 5 days sharing and observing, well, in this case I don't have any pets or other relative non-human organisms, so I could only analyze and observe like the plant. And I started to question this idea that humans are above everything and that we're like the center, so that all the organisms that aren't humans aren't important. Well, at the museum, I think it was a really interesting experience. Well, at the museum, I could see this futuristic like room. It was blue. The lights were like really dim, and there was like those like pods that we laid, and we got to have headphones and close our eyes while we had like this rock-like thing, like kidney form in our bellies, that made vibrations and sound. It was kind of heavy, and it was placed in our bellies, and it made like noises and vibration, and it was bright. It was like like this, but in your belly. Did have a synchronization with the sounds of like I would like to assume it was like whales or any marine creature. Well, that's how I felt, since the room was also, it was blue and there was like those like light shapes that you can see like from underwater, or when you see like through a ball of water or in the pool. At first I felt a little bit uncomfortable. It was heavy, there was like weird noise, but then I started to feel like while I was breathing, I started to like appreciate the moment, and I started to feel like my body was connected to like this kind of nature, like to all these sounds, to all these like animals or non-human organisms that were recorded, or that I don't know if it was recorded or it was like AI. I'd like to assume it was recorded, but you kind of feel like an understanding and a deeper comprehension, because it was even like if they were talking with each other, they were like singing, like they were like expressing themselves, and like with the rock, like with the like kidney like rock in your belly, while it was shining like this sounds, it kind of make you feel like more connected in a way, like if it was really criticizing this idea that humans are just like the main thing, like because we understand, because we think, and it made like for a moment I was like, well, this sounds like a really like intelligent creature like doing these sounds. And in a way it helped me more than just like readings, or like, you know, like you see it from far, it gave me like a physical feel to understand this connection with humans and non-human creatures or organisms. After the exhibit, I spent 5 days observing this plant. It's like, yeah, like an aloe, a cactus, you know. And well, the like my blog is like and my diary is basically, this is like a summary. I spent around, I don't know, like quite a like few minutes, and then while I was working, I brought the plant close to me just to like coexist in the environment, maybe in a like not really like direct way like I'm sharing time with it, but like I did share a few minutes every day. But after, I just brought it with me to spend time with it. Well, on my first day, I mostly saw it as an object, as a decoration, like it was around my house, and it was something that made the space look better. I don't know, it gives us oxygen, you know, so like you're conscious about it. You're like, oh, it's a decoration, and this immediately reminded me of Laika, and that's my association with it. We're using this plant not for the fact of being a human being, or that's not like the first purpose we have it. Is more like the decoration wise, like, you know, like it looks good, it makes our space look green, and then it reminds me of Laika because it's a way that we use the plant without its consent, without like really giving it as a like exactly like as a use, but rather than thinking like, oh, it's a well-being, right, like it's a living thing. And then I realized we were giving it value for what it could give me, so as a use. At the same time, this connects with the Harding's idea of counter stories, because like even on the first day I wasn't considering the plant for its like perspective as a plant, right? I was more thinking it like, oh, like how is it useful, like why is it here, rather than seeing the perspective from like, oh, it's a plant, you know, it's a like non-human form. And well, I mainly question the like the way we understand like the world and we see it. On the second day, my perspective, I think it shifted a lot. It was more like, oh, like, you know, like we're sharing this space, so like, is the plant okay? Is it like, does it have a water? Is it like, you know, enough sun? I was like worrying about a little bit, even if it's comfortable, you know, like in the pot, if everything is okay. um, on the third day, I was searching like what's the actual needs of like these kind of plants, you know, like checking like, oh, is the soil the right material, is water like, you know, how often, like my dad takes care of it, but it's not truly like me. So then like that was my third day, really thinking how could I make the plant more comfortable. And this is a main thing that then I realized that it wasn't truly right, because I was treating it as something I own and not something I control, right? And this is exactly what Francione argues about, that animals and more like broadly non-human forms are treated as property rather than as, you know, like basic living things. And we don't give like the human or like the living values like we have, you know, like we have like rights and all that stuff, and we protect ourselves with those rights. So my actions were not neutral, they were based on control. And well, it also made me reflect on the Western life described by Schroeder, where humans place themselves above nature, assume the role, and like yeah, and we assume the role of like managers or like the people that control that part of like the natural world. And then I realized that even like not obsessively, but like trying to like control something or care about something is usually like based because I want my plant to be better, right? I want my plant to be healthier. So it was kind of based in like controlling like property, and instead of just like living in a coexist, you know, like space. I also thought that while I was just focused like these thoughts also came for the fact that I was only focusing on like the plant as my, because it's like, because it was my plant, right? But then I thought like there's a park outside outside my house, and it has like thousands of plants. It has thousands of like, I don't know, non-human things that I don't really pay my attention, because I think the fact that they are mine. So then I started like to question that, and on the fourth day I tried something different. Instead of trying to control or fix the things, I just sat with the plant and shared the space. Like I just coexist in peace, not trying to control anything with the plant, but just to like coexist in the same space. And by the fifth day, my perspective had changed a little bit. It still care about like its well-being, of course, but I was also aware that it has a value just by being a plant, and that I have to coexist with it, and I can't be like controlling or imposing things to the plant. Both experiences challenge the idea that humans are separate from nature, and instead they show me how like if we constantly spend time with something that with some like with a non-human living form, it helps us understand, and we usually ignore it or don't even realize it's there. And overall, this experience don't really change my idea of how I think about plants or animals, but it changed how I see my place in the world, and it really made me realize that humans, we do treat things as a property, and we start care when it's property, but we don't just like value things for them to be alive, right? Like we don't value the plant because it's just alive. Um, and maybe the issue is how can we share or like, yeah, share the space and make it like the best for both like non-human and human being, um, instead of just like thinking they're just objects and that we can control everything we have, like plants or animals.